Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to another episode of New Music Finds, number 45. So this is where I like to collect together all the new music that I've purchased over the past week and present it to you. And I get it from different places like my local record stores, of course, but also online retail from Amazon, eBay, and more. And for this past week, I picked up 32 new music finds, certainly a lot even for me. Usually I don't get this high with it, but certainly with being on vacation and everything, I've been able to hit up a lot of different record stores, and so I got a bit more in my bag, so to speak, based on that, which breaks down into 26 CDs, 5 records, and even 1 shirt. And we're going to dive into all of that in just a bit, but before we do, if you're new to my channel and haven't hit the subscribe button, please click the button. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, by subscribing, you'll be able to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music, just like this, with New Music Finds, episode number 45. And so normally we kick off with brand new releases, but this past Friday, no new releases that I was picking up. A couple things did come out, kind of run under the radar, but nothing that I was interested in. So, as I said, I was heading out and hitting a lot of my record stores, and I certainly have enough new music to keep me going until new releases start back up. And first place I went to was Bookoff. I picked up 12 things from there. First one being Moby Grape's self-titled release, 1967. Moby Grape is a really hard band to find stuff on. A lot of legal lawsuits and things of that nature that have prevented their albums or withdrawn them from the shelves when they've come out. So if you come across it, it's definitely worth checking out. And they're just one of those bands that really shoulda, woulda, coulda made it kind of a thing, but with bad decisions, bad management, legal issues, unfortunately just never reached their potential. Next up, The Hollies, Evolution, also 1967, an album that's more of their psychedelic era phase, features the song Carrie Ann, which you might know if you're a Hollies fan. But as you can see, first two things here were from 1967, so he's definitely on that vein of things. And the next one as well, The Monkees, more of The Monkees, 1967. And so yes, with the passing of Mike Nesmith, definitely been more into the Monkees and more into the 60s era of stuff like that. So that's where a lot of these are coming from and why you're seeing that from me, whereas in other times you've seen me show other things. But I just go through phases in my music. Here's one that I didn't expect to be getting into, but I am. Three Dog Night, Naturally, 1970. This one here featuring the song Joy to the World, which is definitely one of their biggest hits. And they're more soulful rock stuff, but I've been getting into bands like the Box Tops and the Grassroots that are also in that vein. And so Three Dog Night just kind of slid right in there. And you'll see later, because I also picked up Best Of from them, so I'm exploring them even more now. Next one. Ringo Starr, Goodnight Vienna, 1972 album here, really good one. Got a lot of great special guests on it like Elton John, Harry Nilsson, John Lennon, many others on there as well. So very cool album with cool co-writes and guests on it. Then I picked this up, Steve Howe, Beginnings, 1975 debut solo album. One thing I didn't know about this one was that he sang so much on it. He's sung occasional vocals on other albums. Also, sometimes he has other people do the vocals for him. But this one here, quite a number of the tracks have his vocals on it. I thought that was really cool. Definitely worth adding to the collection just for that difference in it. Then I picked up this, Rick Derringer, a Best Of, 1996, covering his whole career. Been a fan of Derringer. You can see I've got box set of his stuff there behind me, but just cool to get a whole collection that covers all of those different eras. And then I picked this up, David Johansen, Here Comes the Night, 1981 solo album from the New York Doll frontman. Picked up the Divinyls, Desperate, 1983 album, their debut. Really good stuff. Last one that I didn't have like that in a jewel case. As I mentioned, I had some other versions of it, but I'm always glad when I can find an original release like that. I found this, which was pretty cool, Iggy Pop Wild America EP. This one here, 4 tracks that are on here, 3 of which were B-sides, and so thereby unreleased at this, or not unreleased, but out of print at this point, hard to come by. So for me at least, it was like getting 3 unreleased songs. And then I picked up L7. This one here being called Triple Platinum, The Beauty Process, or vice versa, The Beauty Process, Triple Platinum, sorry. This one is 1997 release, and just one that I didn't have in the collection. And then while I was looking this one up, found out actually they have an album out from 1999, so I didn't have that one. So that will be the last album that I need to fill my collection for L7. But I even have the newest one, which is actually really good. If you haven't checked that out and you're a fan of L7, I do recommend checking out the latest one. And then I picked up a couple ones for cases. I'm only hanging on to one of these, and as you can see, I swapped out the Derringer case onto this one because I want to hang on to the album, but not so worried about the case and what it's in, at least at the moment. Gwen Stefani, The Sweet Escape. And so I'm a fan of hers from No Doubt, not so much this style of music, but I am going to keep that in the collection, and at some point I'll put a better case on it when I get some, but that's what that one was actually purchased for. All right, so then I hit over to Westsider Records, and I picked up 4 things there, and one of them being vinyl. Let me actually take it out of the slip plastic there. Grassroots, Move Along. This one here, as I mentioned earlier, I was getting into the Grassroots. I picked up a singles collection in one of the previous visits, and so very hard to get stuff on CD, so I found that they had a bunch on vinyl, and I chose to go ahead and pick one up. You guys know I'm not the biggest vinyl person. I do have vinyl in my collection, and I decided to start fleshing it out a little bit more. I've got some more vinyl coming up in a minute, but before that, I also picked up 3 CDs from Westsider. The Edgar Winter Group, Shock Treatment, this one here, 1974 album, featuring Rick Derringer. So again, that's where more Rick Derringer interest was coming from. Then I also picked up Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Daylight, again, 1982 album. This one here, having that more 80s sound to it, a little more pop to it, is actually a reason I like this album. I sort of go between their more folk efforts and their more pop efforts. This one here is just in the mood for that, and surprisingly didn't have it in the collection, so I was glad to pick it up. And then this here, Blind Faith, the debut album, featuring 6 tracks from 1969, of course, a who's who of the rock world at the time. We've got Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, Ginger Baker, and Rick Gretsch in the lineup. And this one having the original album cover on it. That was the reason I picked it up. I actually have the album in the collection, but just not that one with the original cover, the original art to it. Okay, so then I headed over to Village Revival Records, and I picked up 6 things, 2 CDs for vinyl. First one up, Thunderclap Newman, Hollywood Dream. So this was new to me. I didn't know anything about the band, recognized the album cover, looked it up, found out I knew the song Something in the Air, which Tom Petty had covered, so I knew it from him when he did it on the Greatest Hits. So then definitely interested in checking this out from 1970. When I got home, I found out that Rick McCullough was a member of the band, and he went on to play with Paul McCartney and Wings, and I'd always kind of wondered what he had done besides that. Turns out he was in this band here, so that was a really cool find. I like it when I buy something, I'm excited about it, and then I learn something even more about it that makes me more excited. That's just sort of icing on the cake at that point. All right, then I picked up the Guess Who, Greatest Hits, just an alternate version from the best of that you can see behind me there. This one here spanning a much longer period, which is why I was interested in it, and just the different album art and whatnot. And this one has album length tracks, whereas the best of one uses single edit tracks. So something different there, and definitely a reason why to have both, in my opinion. Then I picked up some vinyl, as I mentioned, and so getting some more into my collection. This one here, a Record Store Day release, Alice Cooper, live at the Apollo Theatre, Glasgow, recorded in 1982, so on the Special Forces tour. And the reason I was really interested in is, again, I'm not a big live album fan, but because of some of the different songs that he performs on here that are rarely performed, it made it of interest to me to have it. And it was something that I thought about picking up back on November 26th when Record Store Day happened. And so a month later, I was surprised that they still had one, but later changed my mind on it and decided I wanted it. All right, then I picked up Graham Edge Band. This one here, 1975 release. I just really like the album art on this. So Graham Edge from the Moody Blues. And what I really liked and why I bought it was Adrian Gervitz is part of the band in here, and so that's really cool. Been a fan of his since he was part of Gun, Three Man Army, Baker Gervitz Army. He's done solo stuff. Didn't know he was part of the Graham Edge band, so that one was a really cool one there. And just excellent album here called Kick Off Your Muddy Boots. I've actually got a CD edition of that one on order I'm expecting later today. And then this one here, Tony Carey, called Some Tough City, 1984 release. So if you don't know who Tony Carey is, keyboardist who's played with Rainbow, among others, had a new wave sort of project called Planet P Project, and just he's done different stuff. This here, though, really interesting, much more in the rock vein than some of his other stuff. So I was definitely interested in that, and that's the reason for picking it up. And then David Johansen. So another one from the New York Doll frontman, Sweet Revenge, 1984 solo album. And the last one I didn't have in my collection. I've got his other releases, so I've now completed that aspect of my New York Dolls solo stuff from David Johansen, which is pretty cool. One day I hope to get that one on a CD, but at least for now, vinyl will do for me. Okay, so then I was at Village Revival, and very close by is Generation Records. It's about 2 blocks away. So I swung by, and while I didn't pick up any CDs or vinyl there, they are known for having a huge t-shirt collection. And so I picked this one up, Beatles shirt for Get Back, different than the Let It Be, but same cover on this thing. And I just like that it's blue and it's done as sort of a screen print on it. So something a little different than the typical black shirt that would be the Let It Be album cover. This one here done a little more interesting. You see I always wear my concert shirts in these things. I like to have some interesting ones that are a little different than the typical fare that's out there that everybody has. All right, then I got a couple things off of eBay. Journey Next, third studio album from these guys, 1977. And the reason I ordered this one off eBay is I was hunting for one that didn't have that white bar down the side, that still had the original booklet with it, that has the lyrics and things on the inside of it and the art on the back side. So this one here, I found a copy of this. Don't know if this is just an older release because it's from the US, it's not an import or anything of that nature, and just was able to finally get a hold of that in the full art format. And it's kind of strange because labels seem to have reverted back to ones that have less of that, or removed the art from the inside of the booklets, and it's just paper cover now, and that's it. Anyways, had to track that down and was glad to get a hold of that, sort of re-exploring those first 3 albums. Good stuff. Now, I mentioned earlier about the Grassroots. I've talked about them a couple times, having picked up that singles compilation, searching out the vinyl album, how hard it is to find stuff on CD. But I did find this album here on CD, a Japanese pressing of it. So this one here, sorry, I lost my place. Leaving It All Behind, 1969. It's their 5th album, gatefold replica, which is really cool. So I have been able to get one of these on CD. I hope to find the others at some point, but if not, I'll be tracking down more of the vinyl stuff. Okay, then I picked up some stuff on Amazon. I've got 5 things here. So Chocolate Watch Band, this is something that one of my viewers recommended to me. Another 1967 album that this person thought I'd like, and turns out I did. So pretty good garage rock. If you're not familiar with them, do recommend that. American Woman by the Guess Who. So getting into more of the Guess Who stuff. This one here, Artificial Paradise, 1973 album. Then this is a twofer album from the Guess Who. It's Road Food and Power in the Music. And so if you take off the slipcase, it does have Road Food. And then if you want, you can flip it over and have the one from the other album. So depending upon whichever one you want, you could have the art on the track listing on the backside. So it does that. And then here's that other Three Dog Night that I was talking about. This one here, the Complete Hit Singles Collection. So definitely exploring them more. I've tried this one out a number of times, never really been able to get into it until picking up that one Three Dog Night album. And then now just I don't know, it clicked with me. This was good stuff. So I'm definitely going to be exploring some more from Three Dog Night going forward. You'll probably see more of that stuff in my collection. And then here, last thing, Demon Doll Records, a great place for glam metal. Picked up 3 things from them. Rough Cut album called Rhythm Machine, just released now, but actually recorded back in the late 80s. This is without Paul Shortino. It's got Perry McCarty coming in, taking over for lead vocals. The band attempted to continue on. Album was never released at the time, just getting released now. But I did pick up some Paul Shortino stuff. Project called Bad Boys, now titled No No Nikki. It was a self-titled release when it came out in 1994, Japan only. And then new project that he's done, Blue Dahlia, self-titled release featuring Tracy G of Dio on guitars. And so there you go. Now originally at the beginning of this I said 32 music releases, but when I was just counting one of these as I was doing this, turns out it's actually 32 new music finds in here. So a little bit of a miscount there, but it is what it is. Episode number 45. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Certainly if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Hope everyone has a great day, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye, everyone.